Hi, everybody. This is Behind the Faders, a YouTube channel where we will talk about anything and everything there is to talk about in live sound mixing. My name is Kai Ulrich. I've been a live sound engineer for over 30 years now, and I'm pretty sure that I've done almost anything and everything there is in live sound mixing. From small punk clubs to big arena and stadium tours, all genres of music, but also shareholders' meetings, conferences, TV shows, trade shows, you name it. This channel is for all sound engineers, even if you're just starting out or even just planning to become a sound engineer, or you're already a little bit advanced but run into problems here and there. This channel is for you. And unlike any other live sound mixing channel that I know on YouTube, we will not just be covering mixing music and bands. We will also talk about how to approach mixing speech, which these days, for most of you, will be a big part of your job. If you're interested in that kind of content, please subscribe. It's free for you and helps me a lot. So, in this first episode, I want to talk about the right mindset for this job, if you're even ready to become a sound engineer. So, this obviously goes out mostly to people that are just starting out or are planning on becoming a sound engineer. I'm sure you already know about the working hours, right? I mean, you will be working long hours from time to time. You will miss your mother's birthday, your girlfriend's birthday, your friends' birthdays, a lot of family events or parties, and sometimes on very short notice. Also, if you're planning on getting into touring, you will be obviously away from home for longer periods of time. But like I said, I'm pretty sure you know about this already. So let me tell you something that you might not know or may not be aware of. Don't get me wrong, this job can be the best job in the world, and very rewarding and fun, but not always. And part of that is that a lot of things can happen to you that are out of your control. Let's imagine you're a house painter. Okay, you've got your skill set together. You're working with all the best materials, the best brushes and colors. So if a customer comes and asks you to paint a room, and you have a look at the walls, and you can then guarantee that the result will just be perfect because you've got all the parameters under your control. Now, guess what? In live sound mixing, this is very often not the case. In fact, sometimes you have very little under your control. So, depending on what you're booked for, you might have to work with equipment that is poor or that you don't like. You might have to work in a very reverberant room. And you might have to mix a band that plays badly and is way too loud on stage. I mean, there are little things you can adjust here and there. We get to that in another video. But in general, all these parameters are not under your control. So you might end up with a terrible sound. And a big problem about that is that everybody else will think it's your fault, because people tend to think that a sound engineer with his desk has everything under control. So they will blame you, and they will think your explanations are just excuses. Of course, this is a kind of worst case scenario which can end up in a sleepless night with full of self-doubts and desperation even. Most of the time it's not that bad, but you will always run into some kind of issues that are dealing with one of these parameters. And even if not, a sound or a mix is always subjective. Everybody has a different opinion or taste. So you will often be approached by somebody, like, famous example is the bass player's girlfriend coming up to you and telling you that the bass guitar is not loud enough in the mix, or it's the manager of the band, the owner of the club, and very often just random people from the audience that come up to you and give you their opinion. And you're providing a service here, so you can't just, you have to deal with it somehow and stay kind of polite. You have to deal with it somehow. But of course, there's also the other nights. We're doing a perfect job, everybody loves it, and you're on top of the world. And the longer you're doing this job, then the bad nights get less and less and less, and the good nights get more and more and more, because you obviously grow in experience and self-confidence. And also, if you gain more confidence and more experience and a better reputation, people tend to believe you a little bit more when you point out things that are not under your control and not going right, really. So to sum this up, just keep it in mind. This can be the best job in the world, just not always. So that's it for today. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.